yesterday we saw a very strong 250 point move in the last couple of hours of trading, and this was, by the way, after a couple of sessions where we saw this doji formation, which indicates indecisiveness. Perhaps this strong up move that we saw in the last couple of hours, that indicates that the ball is right now in the courts of the bull. But the index Nifty I'm talking about here has been making lower lows all through the week. How does that fit in your analysis?
Good morning, Suyash, and good morning, Amit, and hearty congratulations, first of all, for watching the Nifty at a new all-time high once again. So this has been happening since, I think, December onwards. We are watching new highs on Nifty. So, yes, some profit booking, even a running horse needs to take some rest for, or a water break, you can say. And that's what was happening in last couple of days. But if you look at the options data, 20,200 put writing positions were not shattered, as in not, budged at all. And there was a very strong support coming in from the put writers at 20,200 level. So although we saw some profit booking from higher levels, it did take rest. Nifty did come down. But yesterday it made a low somewhere around 22,230. And then again, the bulls were in charge. And we saw the up move in the last hour of the trade. So this clearly shows the intrinsic strength that the index is having. And also there are a lot of sectors that are supporting Nifty, although on a rotational basis. So yesterday banking took the lead. And now today again, it's the IT pack, moved up a little in the last hour of the trade yesterday. And today it's the metals. So there are a lot of sectors that are supporting Nifty. And if Bank Nifty also supports Nifty, then I think Nifty is going to move even faster. So overall, the trend is positive for the month of March. I think we should be heading towards 23,000. And on the downside, a very strong support at 22,000. A trading support comes in at 20,200. So the view remains positive. I think one should buy on all the declines that we see in the market, all the rest periods that are seeing on Nifty and Bank Nifty.
All right. I mean, certainly Nifty is doing fairly well, and a lot of these sectors are also, participating in the up move. But Nifty Bank, Avani, we have, long debated on the show whether it's ready to take that leadership role, But the index, as we know, is notorious for shooting blanks, and that has been the case in the last few months. But we are back at 48,000. What's your sense of things now?
So see, now 4 months is a very long time for any major index, an elephant to stay quiet. So I think now Bank Nifty has to catch up with the kind of rally that Nifty has seen. And banking stocks also, private banking space has started looking up, and PSUs have already performed, and they are still continuing to perform well. So I think banking index also, it should very soon touch all-time highs of around 48,600. The view is very positive on the banking index from here on. I think it should lead the entire market going ahead. And 48,300 is one stopover point where we may see some kind of consolidation coming in again. The support on the downside is at 47,700 and 47,300. So 47,300 remains to be a very crucial support for the month. A trading support level after yesterday's move comes in at 47,700. So we are heading towards around 48,600, the all-time high, and maybe higher also. But for the time being, if there is any dip somewhere around 47,700, one should use it as a buying opportunity for the higher targets.
Good morning, Avani. Now, there is a sector which investors don't really look towards when we mostly talk about multi-baggers, and that is the sector of spirits and alcohol and breweries. There is one company I would like to drive your attention towards, and that's Piccadilly Agro, the company behind the Indri single malt brand, and also Tilaknagar Industries, the company behind Napoleon Brandy in India. Piccadilly Agro has given gains of 711% in the last 1 year, 200% in the last 6 months. In for some correction right now, it's in the negative in the last 5 days at 2.2%,
Sorry,
down
Amit,
almost 1% today even.
Voice.
Is the rally past its peak, or is there still some steam left in it, or for those who hold on to it, is it time to cash out? And which are the other stocks in the sector would you advise investors to get into?
So I think Piccadilly, if you talk about it, the kind of move that we have seen, yes, as you said, it's a very silent player. And after touching all-time highs, I think it is consolidating a bit. So the stock should come down to somewhere around 325. That will again be a very good entry level for an upside. The breakout comes in at around 383 levels. So above 383, again, sky is the limit, and we may see levels of around 430 on the stock. So 325, wait for that level to enter into the stock. View remains positive. If you're already holding the stock, keep holding, because we will be seeing levels of around 430 sooner or later. And if you get 325 levels, I think again you can add some more positions, or if you've bought at higher levels, you can average it at around that level. And the other stocks from this current sector, I think I like UBL. UBL looks pretty good. United Breweries also, I'll give you the levels, just a sec. Yeah, so the
It's in,
stock has corrected quite a bit from around 1900 levels, and now on the downside, it is taking the support of 200-day moving average and showing some strength in last couple of days. So this stock also, I think once 1738 level is crossed, it will shoot up and see a good move up to around 1857. So this is one stock where one can keep an eye on.
All right, and another stock we wanted to pick your brains on was Tata Chemicals. I mean, phenomenal movement we have seen in the last 5 sessions. The stock is up 33%. Yesterday we saw 13% move. Today, this morning, it's up 7%. Day before, I think on Tuesday, it was up about 6% as well. And a couple of interesting developments. Of course, Fitch has revised the outlook. And there are also talks that Tata Sons, which is the holding company of Tata Chemicals, is also going to list on the bourses soon. The date at which is by which RBI requires it to list is September 2025. So Tata Sons listing could be in the offing, and that could bode well for Tata Chemicals. And we are clearly seeing very strong volumes, very strong upside. How is it looking on the price charts, Avani?
I mean, the stock had consolidated for a very, very long period, and now today, yesterday, when I was looking at the stock on closing basis, I was looking out for a breakout level of 1215, which will be which is a monthly and a quarterly breakout. And I think today the stock has opened above that level, so it has given that breakout. It should sustain above this. We are targeting the levels of around 1330 on the stock. Not immediately, maybe a couple of months going ahead, but not too long also. So it's going to be a medium term bet. I think in next 3 to 4 months, we should be watching levels of around 1330. And since it has given a monthly and a quarterly breakout above 1215 level, if at all there is any retracement, any dip up to that level, 1215 level, you can enter into the stock. Although it has moved so much, there is nothing to worry about it. There's still a lot of room on the upside.
All right, that's the view coming in on Tata Chemicals. And Avani, before we let you go, what's on your radar for the short term?
Yeah, so for the short term, I think for this coming week, we should be seeing a good move in IT. IT should pick up again. I like Persistent in this sector, and Persistent we can buy in the area of 8350 to 8360, and keeping a stop loss of 8025. And on the upside, targets would be 8800 and 8900 going ahead. The best pick that I like for the coming week is the entire Adani group. But out of the entire Adani group, I think Adani Enterprises looks very good on the charts as well as on the derivative parameters. We have seen a lot of addition happening at 3300 call, with IV's implied volatility at that particular strike increasing, which means that there is no writing happening at 3300 call, but it's the speculative buying that is happening. So I think Adani Enterprise, we can enter in the area of around 3230. Targets would be 3460. And on the downside, you can keep a stop loss of 3120. The other counter is GAIL, Gas Authority of India. So Gas Authority of India made a new all-time high and then it corrected, retraced back to exactly the breakout level. And yesterday it moved up again from the 186 breakout which had happened earlier. So that retracement is done. It is ready to move up again and make a new all-time high. So we can enter into this stock in the area of 190, somewhere around 190, keeping a stop loss of 184 and a target of 200 and 205 on immediate basis. And the best, again, out of the entire oil impact sector, I think ONGC still looks good. We've seen a lot of correction in the stock, but it is ready to move up again. So ONGC would be a buy around 280 levels. Targets for this month, for the March series, would be 297 and 305. And we can keep a stop loss of 272. So risk reward in the stock is pretty good. And excuse me, one non-FNO stock that we can look at is Bank of India. Again, banking sector looks good, and most of these smaller banks are pretty well placed to give an up move of around 10 to 12% from current levels. So as a trading bet, we can create a position in Bank of India around 145 levels for a target of 155 and keeping a stop loss of 140. So again, the risk reward is pretty good, almost 1:2 in this case also.